Hi guys, this is Simon. I'm just back from lunch. I've had this lovely salad for lunch, and I use my salad servers here, which are wooden ones. And it reminded me that I haven't really talked to you about how to bend wood. Look at this lovely curve in the salad servers that we've got. And this leads me to this process called lamination, which is really suitable for setting up at school and maybe helping you design some really nice shaped objects. Lamination is all about layers and about gluing these layers together so that we get a sandwich of components. So we already do that with plywood, which is just layers of sheets of wood glued together. And we can also laminate things like chipboard to protect them from water. So we put like a plastic surface on, and this is also called lamination, plastic surface. You might have that in your kitchen for your work countertops. But of course, we need both of these items to be dead flat. We don't want it to be curved. But if we're clever about it, we can use something which we call a former, which will help keep the shape of the product while we glue it up. Another name that people use for this is a jig. I've got a block of pine here, and I'm going to use this to make the former for my salad servers. I can use the bandsaw to cut the shape that I require, forming two blocks, separate blocks for the former. Now let's just talk about the woods that we require. Thin woods are going to bend really easy, so using a veneer is a good idea for this process. Remember, a veneer is a thin piece of wood, normally under a millimeter thick. Now, manufacturers also make really flexible plywood, which we call flexi-ply, and it's specially designed for making bends and curves. And flexi-ply will be thin as well, between 1 and 3 millimeters in thickness. Another material we can use is something called marine ply, and again this is thin but designed to be quite flexible. And we can get this in 3 to 4 millimeters thick. We can help the flexibility of the wood by cutting the grain so that it goes across the width of the piece of strip of wood that we want to bend, just like this. And this makes it easy to bend across the grain rather than along it. However, with the veneer, with it being so thin, we can allow the grain to run in this direction, and that could give us a nice visual effect. Now with the veneers, we can bend along the grain, and we could make any sort of sandwich that we require for our salad servers by using a number of different pieces of wood. For my salad servers, I'm going to use 2 pieces of flexi-ply and 1 piece of veneer. Now the flexi-ply will give me the bulk and the thickness that I require for the salad servers, where the veneer will then give me a more attractive finish. So let's have a look at the process of lamination. Step 1, cut the materials longer and wider than what you actually need, because there's going to be some waste process in cleaning up the edges and the length. Step 2, I'm going to do a dry run. This means placing the wooden pieces into the former with no glue. And we're just trying to test that the bend will happen. Of course, this is a very shallow bend, and therefore there's no problem with it. Step 3 would be then to apply the glue. And you've got quite a couple of choices on the glue that you use. So you could use PVA, but remember you'd need the waterproof variety, because the salad servers would need washing now and again, wouldn't they? Another waterproof glue that you might have at school is called Cascamite. And this is a great glue for using with lamination because it doesn't sort of stain your wood so much if it does sort of run over onto your veneers. Step 4 then is to clamp your work up once you've glued the surfaces which are touching each other. And you can use here, I've got a bench vise just to hold it together. And you can also use, any type of clamping system that you've got at school. So get your clamps out and get it all clamped up. You want to leave this for, 3 to 16 hours. Overnight is even better. And then step 5, you want to remove your work from the former. And then we can find that our piece of wood will then be in the shape that we want, ready to then be trimmed and cut. So we're just going to remove that from the former, and step 6 would then be to cut and shape the product, the salad server, clean it all up, and then we could do it again for the second salad server, which goes to show you that you can use these formers over and over again. Now I've got a really nice looking salad server here, and this goes to show you that the design of the former can be quite tricky and needs a lot of thinking about. Taking a big block of pine like this, I can draw my shape on that I require for those salad tongs. If I cut this out, you can see if I remove it now here, there's absolutely no space for my sandwich of veneers, is there? So I'd have to draw a second shape and then be able to cut that one out. And then you'll be able to see now, if I cut this one, then I've got enough space to put my plies in place. And notice with this salad server, I've got veneers on both sides of the plywood so that I get this colourful inside and outside finish. Now I've used salad servers as an example to keep it easy and simple, but look at this chair, absolutely fantastic, all made up from the lamination process. And just think about the former that would be required to produce this beautiful sort of seating device. And don't forget also that the frame here has also been put around a former and produced twice and then assembled together to make this chair. So what would those formers look like? An alternative method that they use is to cut out a former which is in the shape of this sort of inside profile that is required. And then they cut holes in the former like this. Ooh, it's a bit weird that there, but you can imagine holes going through like so, all the way around the surface. And then they can use cramps going across here into the hole, and then that tightens the plywood pieces with all the glue on and everything like that's all glued up already, and pulls the shape of the frame. And this avoids you having to then cut another shape on the outside, which would make life more difficult. So clamps all the way around like that, and then let it set. So well done to Alvo Alto and his team for designing and making this birch plywood chair way back in 1931. So you can see how long lamination process has been going on for.